Hello, it's Mrs. Green, and this lesson is on volume of spheres and also surface area of spheres. So we're going to do both volume and surface area of this shape in one lesson. And a sphere, as you probably are familiar, is a round shape, round three-dimensional shape, so it doesn't have any edges or vertices. It really just has one face, I guess you could say. So it's unique in that way. And so you need to write down your prior knowledge of spheres. And then we have two pieces of key information, and they're both on the same screen. They are formulas. So you have a formula for surface area. They just have an A for area. You could say area of a sphere, since there's only one surface. They're the same. The area and the surface area are the same. And the formula is 4 pi r squared, so it's similar to the area of a circle. It's got pi r squared in it, but you have to multiply it by 4 times. And then you've got volume. So the volume formula is down here. Very similar. It's got pi in it, it's got radius in it, but it's cubed. The radius is cubed because it's volume. Remember, volume is how much material it would take to fill up the sphere. Surface area is how much material it would take to cover the sphere. Area is always squared. Volume is always cubed. And so the volume formula is similar to a circle. It's got pi and an r, but it's 4/3 pi r cubed. So you have to come up with a way of memorizing that. One of the things I use to help me is I already know that volume is cubed. That's something I've memorized, and I don't have any trouble remembering that. I understand it. And so I know that r is going to have a 3. And that reminds me that there's going to be a 3 in the denominator. And then the rest of it's very similar. The 4 and the r and the pi are also up here in surface area. And I also always remember, I don't have any trouble remembering that surface area is squared. So the rest of it is the same. The pi, the 4, and the r are in both formulas. And then I just have to remember the 2 is in area, and then the 3 is in 2 places in the volume. So that helps me remember it. Okay, so that was your prior knowledge and your introduction and your key information all on one slide. Let's do some practice problems. So we want to find the surface area and volume of a sphere with diameter 18. So if I draw a sphere and my diameter is 18, which means all the way across from one side to the other is 18 going through the center. So that's 18. It doesn't give me any units. And then remember, my surface area formula is going to be 4 pi r squared. And my volume formula is going to be 4/3 pi r cubed. So let's see if I've got all my pieces. My r is going to be half of my diameter, so r is equal to 9. So don't forget to split your diameter in half to get radius. And now I think I've got everything I need to plug this in and solve. Surface area equals 4 times 3.14. I'm rounding pi. And 9 squared would be 81. Once you do that calculation, so when you plug that into a calculator, you get 1,104 point something. It rounds to 1,105. There's another thing you can always do, which you might be familiar with, which is leaving your answer in terms of pi. So if I leave my pi instead of converting it to 3.14, then I'm just simply multiplying 4 times 81 and getting 324 pi. And that some people think of pi, that you can do that because pi is a variable, but it's not. Pi is not a variable. Pi is a number. But you can use the symbol pi to represent the number 3.14 without having to, especially if you don't have a calculator handy. If I don't tell you in the instructions one way or the other, then you have that option. All right, let's do the volume. So volume equals 4/3. Let's leave this in terms of pi. And 9 times 9 times 9 is going to be 729. So now I have to multiply 729 by 4/3. And I'm going to get 972 pi. Or 972 times 3.14, which I would have to do on a calculator, which is 3052. So your choice of keeping it in terms of pi or multiplying it out. Example 2. And this is one we have to back into the radius. So if the area, they give you the area of a sphere is 1600 pi centimeters squared. Oh, yeah, that's right, area. Then what is the radius? So we know that surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared. So they're saying that 1600 pi is equal to 4 pi r squared. We can divide both sides by pi. 1600 is equal to 4r squared. Divide both sides by 4. 400 is equal to r squared. Take the square root of both sides. So 20 is what my radius is, and that's what they asked me for. If they wanted my volume, then I could plug that radius into the volume formula and calculate volume. Alrighty. We're done with examples, and here are the 4 practice problems. So I want you to calculate the area and volume of a sphere if its radius is 1. Also, same problem with a radius of 2. And then if you double the radius of a sphere, I want to know what the multiplier is for its area. So you're going to have to maybe put some numbers into the formula and play around with that. And then same thing for the volume. If the sphere is doubled, the radius is doubled, then what happens to the volume? Okay, that's it. And then you're going to do your summary.